Hey everyone, it's Pup Twigs here from Orlando, Florida, and joining me today I have Pup Nero from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yes, hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm
How's
doing
it going?
awesome. So,
Good.
I'm just going to start off, want to know about your name, Pup Nero, and how that come about.
So I'm kind of a fan of like Greek mythology and just Greek history, ancient history in general. And Nero is just like, I mean, he was a awful emperor, but his name has a ring to it.
Oh my God, I
And
love it.
I think it's kind of an ironic nickname. I don't think of myself as a tyrant or anything, but you know, it's just a fun name.
Oh, I agree. I like the name.
Thanks.
So, what about your unique pup hood? I really like that.
Oh, thanks. So I got this from PNC Creations. It's only like a few months old. I think I got this in um,
Well,
April,
was it
maybe.
okay? Yeah, that's just a few months ago.
Yeah, I got it just before IMSL, which was like awesome that it, arrived. And much about it, it's kind of based off of a dog that I saw on just researching that I felt like really connected to, a border collie. And so I asked for a hood that kind of looks like his markings. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very unique and the color scheme that you went with is just amazing. I love that dark brown,
Yeah,
light brown, and then the white, and then that top of that nose in the middle. It looks pretty
thanks.
awesome.
Yeah, I wanted it to match with my own skin tone, kind of. Like,
Uh-huh.
I do, you know, I just wanted it to sort of blend.
Well, it's a hit on this end. Yes, it looks great.
Thanks.
So so how long have you been in the pup community now?
Ooh, I'd say only since like March. Honestly, I'm
Okay.
a really new pup. And but I feel like my pup has already always been there. Like
Hmm.
looking back, I can see like, oh yeah, that was very like okay, this is a long story, but when I was a kid and like I talked to a lot of other like lesbians or queer women and they're like, yeah, like when we were playing house, I was always the daddy, like I was always like and my friend was always the mommy and that's how we played house. And I was like, I was always the dog. I always wanted to be the dog.
Oh, that's all.
And it was like it was just close to my heart. That's how I felt. Like I just wanted to be on all fours just barking. It just felt good.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, so have thinking about the pup community, what is it like in Philadelphia?
Ooh. I'm not really sure. Honestly. I don't really like being a new pup. I don't really go out to a lot of it's more like virtual events or the events that I know about are a lot in New York City and like Hudson Valley and places like that.
Okay.
And so I personally feel like the Philly scene is a little disjointed, but it's also could be me not doing my research or not looking in the right places.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I know like at the bike stop, like some of the pups gather there and like I know a lot of like well, not a lot, but I know a couple of pups who go there and uh like hang out, which is our only leather bar in Philly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So do you? I guess you haven't been to many pup events only because you haven't found that location to go yet or anything.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I've been to like a couple play parties where there are pups and like Imsel, I told you that was my first big like leather event, which was
Hmm.
I was kind of starstruck.
Oh, of course. Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah,
That
yeah.
it can be overwhelming, but starstruck as well.
Yes.
So,
So yeah.
um, do you have other pup friends that you all get together and stuff? And
I know like some pups casually who
okay.
I but they're pretty spread out in different areas and um but I kind of look up to them as like mentors and kind of so I can find my own way into like
Right.
puphood, I guess.
So I know it's been fairly new to the community, but
Hmm.
what you have seen, what has been the easiest part of being a
Hmm.
pup?
Hmm.
And then what has been the most difficult so far for you as being a pup?
Hmm. Easiest thing is getting into pup space for me and just mm, it just feels natural, like, and it's also like, and it feels good as an icebreaker when I do go to events like play
Mhm.
parties and stuff, and there's somebody, I'm also a shy person, so if somebody else is like shy there and just kind of like wanting to play with them and seeing them kind of light up, like it
Yeah.
does bring me joy too. Like, yeah, I
And
think
what
it,
about difficult? Has there been anything that's been super difficult
hmm.
so far?
So I do have like a chronic illness, which does make it hard to be like on all fours all the time, even with the right gear. And so sometimes my mind wants to be there, like playing fetch and like just roughhousing, and my body's like, let's slow it down for a
I'm not going to
second.
let you do that right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
And yeah.
so what out of your friends that you have,
Hmm.
what's the diversity of it? I mean, I find it down here, it's
Yeah.
probably 99.5% male,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we want more females to come into the pup community, and we find that
Same.
difficult. What about it in up in your area?
Oh, I'm sorry. Um, should I go turn that off?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So pups in like my area. I think like I do know like a couple of like pups who are non-binary or like trans mask, and that's always great having like other people like me around, and
Hmm.
but most of the pups I've met have been male, and like most of the pups I've moshed with have been male, but at the same time I like them because they're fun to romp with.
Oh, of course.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I like big dogs in general and over small dogs because I can just like I feel like I can really uh get in there. I know that they're probably being like very um more gentle with me than they would with like other dogs their size, which is
Hmm.
very sweet, but I'm just I'm like a little chihuahua. I'm like really good.
Well, yeah,
But yeah.
and just me talking to other pups all over the world, I
Mhm.
find that that is kind of the norm, but
Mhm.
we want to change it. It's the
Yeah.
pup communities for everybody.
Yes.
It does not matter. I mean, we have down here in Orlando, I don't know of any
Mm.
female pups, but I do
Mhm.
know that we have a few trans, which
Yep.
again, welcome. Uh,
Yeah,
this is for everybody. We just need to
exactly.
change it, change that mindset that it's
It's for
for
gay
only males,
men.
but it's not.
Yeah,
It's for everybody.
it is. And so I don't really know how we would go about like feeling
No, we
people
just need to make it more
feel more
attractive for everybody.
true. Yeah.
So what kind of hobbies do you have?
Hobbies, I play guitar. That's like my number one thing. It's just like very calming.
Uh-huh.
And I also do some blacksmithing. I'm not great at it yet, but it's like a fun new hobby. And lots of cooking. It's
A
like,
lot. Hey,
yeah.
that sounds like fun to me.
Yeah.
What about pets of your own? Do you have any?
I wish. I love dogs. I was like, my handler has like a dog that I was just there and I was just playing with her. It was so fun.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose, I recently met a leopard gecko, which was like the cutest, most like relaxed uh pet I've ever seen
That's cool.
and
Yeah.
like to be handled. So I think if I was going to go for a pet, it would be leopard gecko right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So, and being new, you may not identify as one yet, but when you think about, the pup community, there's
Mhm.
beta, there's omega, there's alphas, and of course there's handlers as well. But do you identify as beta, omega, or alpha at this point?
If I had to, I would probably say beta.
Beta. Okay.
yeah, I don't really feel I kind of like being a second in command type of person. That's always been me and like
Hmm.
sort of even keeled. And but I also want to learn more about like alpha, beta, and omega dynamics and like what they mean to people. So it's
Sure.
just learning it too.
And that's what I had to go in and do some research on the three because
Mm,
at that point I didn't even understand where I fit in.
yeah.
And I'm with you. I'm more of a beta, but betas
Yes.
also can take the lead when they need to.
Yeah,
That's exactly me. I can be a leader if you need me to be, but I prefer to stand in the background
exactly. That's
and
what
everything. So I said, okay, then Pup Twigs is a beta at this point.
hmm
So so what is it that you get out of being in the pup head space?
I think more of a connection to my body and mind. I feel that, but also just a way to exercise like my playful self that I can't be all the time. And
Hmm.
like um maybe not not overcome my shyness because it hasn't happened yet, but am slowly doing that. Like I think that it really helps with being more outgoing. So yeah.
The shyness is hard to overcome sometimes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know my husband is very shy and he is fairly new to the pup community.
Hmm.
And putting on the hood helps him
Hmm.
get over that shyness. He's more inclined to go and talk to somebody with
Hmm.
his pup hood on than he would if he didn't have it on.
Same.
So it has
Me too.
definitely helped him on that side of it.
Yeah. It's also like this is more niche, I guess, but having these like sides, they're kind of like blinders.
Yes.
And I have ADHD, so like I'm not constantly getting distracted or as much anyway. So
Oh,
I
of course.
can,
I hear
yeah,
you. I
it's
hear you.
easy
Well,
for
good.
focus.
Well, if you could ask my next pup guest on here a question, what would that be?
Hmm. I'd probably ask them like, oh, I think you do ask that actually, like, but what was your first piece of gear that you got?
And that's
Yeah.
the first time someone's asked that. So
Yeah.
what's your first piece of gear that you purchased when you became a pup?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question.
Good.
Now this one is kind of deep. This came from Pup Bruiser out of San Francisco,
Hmm.
California. And just to
Hmm.
give you a quick history on Pup Bruiser, he's been with the pup community for 36 years. Um,
Jeez.
but he wanted to know what can we do to bring pups who feel like they're isolated in to a closer fellowship with our community.
That's a great question.
Oh, it is. I agree. And there are a
Yeah.
lot of pups that still feel like they're isolated out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even I feel that. Like,
Hmm.
hmm.
What could
I
we do as a
think
community that would help that?
what helped me was like virtual events. Like, I'm going to one tonight even. And I think, hmm, more things like this, like podcasts,
Okay,
just being able to learn about like other pups' experiences. Hmm, what
that
has helped?
and you're exactly right. Because it does virtual events, things
Yeah.
like this that helps get this out in the public more.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
will definitely help with that isolation that some pups feel. A-
Definitely.
And I hope that this unleash that I do gives pups a voice
Yeah.
to be able
Exactly.
to get out there and
Hmm.
everything. So,
It
well,
it's great. Mm.
let's say that some pups see this down the road and want to reach out to you. Do you have any social media that you would love to share with the community?
Yeah, my Instagram is Call Me Nero. There's periods between So it's call.me.nero.
Okay.
And I do have, no, we'll keep it at that.
Okay, we'll keep it at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll I'll make sure we include that in the video that we get posted as well.
Mhm.
So if pups wanted to reach out to you, they
Of
could.
course. Yeah.
Well, Pup Nero, it's been awesome getting to have you as a guest here.
Oh, thank you.
Uh,
Thanks
and
for having me. Really
oh, I
appreciate it.
love it. This is always the highlight of my days is when I see that I have Zoom calls scheduled to
Uh,
get to talk to pups everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the lucky part of the job is getting to do this and spend time with you guys. So
right. Oh, I'm glad. It really like brightened up my day. It's like
good. Well, I
really
hope you
exciting.
enjoy your virtual event tonight
Thank you.
and
Yeah.
everything. And we'll be talking to you again soon. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
All
I'll
right.
see you.
Have a good one.
Yep.